For those of you that don't know me, I'm Councilwoman Esmeralda Soria, and I'm going to be your MC today. Thank you all. Thank you all for being here. I'll let you guys into a little secret. The flag rising was always going to happen. I want to send a special shout out to my colleagues who led on this issue and who never wavered. I'm so honored to be joined by all of you today in such a historic day. Today marks a new and important chapter in the city of Fresno as we demonstrate our commitment to equality and justice for all. And that includes our LGBTQ+ brothers and sisters. This year is special and historic as we are celebrating the first Pride Flag raising ceremony here at Fresno City Hall. What I like to think of, the people's house, your house. As we celebrate Pride Month, we take a moment to recognize the Stonewall Uprising and all of those who have fought and those who continue to demand equality and justice for the LGBTQ+ community. Thank you for your resiliency and advocacy. The Pride Flag is a symbol of hope and inclusion for the LGBTQ community. It represents people in our community that while they have been rejected and marginalized, they have been resilient in the fight for equality, only seeking visibility and affirmation of self-worth and dignity. Some things that many of us may take for granted. Today, we send a message to all Fresnans that we love you regardless of who you are, where you come from, the color of your skin, and who you love. The leadership of this city today celebrates our diversity and the contributions of our LGBTQ+ community. They are our family, our friends, they're our neighbors, our co-workers, our teachers, firefighters, police officers, business owners, and community leaders. This morning, I want to give a special shout out to the one person that called me last spring and thought about this wonderful idea. And that's Peter Robertson. Peter? But because of COVID-19, we couldn't make this event happen. So I want to thank you for really having the vision. And I want to thank Jeffrey Robinson for purchasing the flag and participating in every step of the way. So we have a great program outlined and a number of speakers, so you guys are going to have to be patient. It is a historic day in the city of Fresno, but we couldn't kick off this event in celebration of such a historic day without kicking it off with a national anthem. So we celebrate today. If I could get Denise and Jimmy up to the podium. Everyone, rise.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's
stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight. O'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave. Thank you.
Wow, that was awesome. Let's give it up to Denise and Jimmy. Now to continue with the program, before I acknowledge there's a number of dignitaries here, I did want to call up and invite to the podium our local faith leaders who will be doing an interfaith blessing. So if I could have Reverend Simon Beisel, Reverend Akiko Miyake Stoner, Reverend Tim Kutzmark.
You guys want to come closer? Come under the ring.
Well, good morning, beautiful people, and welcome. My name is Reagan Baker, and I have the pleasure of being the pastor at the Big Red Church of Fresno.
And my name is Reverend Simon Biasel. I'm a Presbyterian pastor with Woven Community here in town. And I stand here proudly and in honor with my interfaith family, Reverend Akiko Miyake Stoner, United Methodist pastor, Tim Kutzmark from the UU Church. Let's hear it, Yellow Hats. Our Reverend Aragukazian, Presbyterian pastor, Reverend April Alkema from Woven Community, Deacon Terrence Goodpasture, Padre Nelson, and the Right Reverend David Rice from the San Joaquin Diocese. We are united here, standing with you all.
So, friends of every faith and friends of no faith, welcome to this holy moment. For every single one of us that's here today and that call Fresno home. This day to celebrate our LGBTQ plus communities that for too long have been feared, shamed, and repressed. But today we celebrate that there is plenty of room under the rainbow for each and every one of us in all of our beautiful and boundless diversity. So it is my pleasure to invite up the Reverend Akiko Miyake Stoner of the United Japanese Christian Church to start our blessing.
Would you please pray with me? We gather this morning, O loving Creator, to celebrate love, the love you have for each one of us and the love we share as community. Thank you for making us all in your precious image. We know that there are too many places and too many of your beloved children who find nothing but pain, exclusion, fear, violence, and death when they try to tell the truth about who you have made them to be and the joy of who you have given them to love. As we raise the pride flag today, we proclaim that Fresno is not a place where this sort of thing will be tolerated. May it be a symbol of safety and healing. May it proclaim that all are welcome in our beautiful city. We lift a special prayer for our LGBTQ plus kids, and we pray that they will know that they are beautiful just as they are. We pray for your protection around them as they navigate life, and we ask you to bless them with acceptance, love, and understanding from others. We give thanks for our mayor and council members who are committed to proclaiming that our city is for all people. We give thanks for their courage and abundant spirits as they lead us to live into what it looks like to be one Fresno. We pray that each of us, as citizens of our city, does our part in making Fresno stronger, more accepting, and more loving. Yes, God, we celebrate the power of community, the connection of creation, the beauty of diversity as we raise Fresno's pride flag. Gathering here this morning, we proclaim the power of love, and we give thanks for this space and all spaces where love reigns. Amen.
Hola, buenos días. Mi nombre es Timoteo y sirvo con gratitud la Iglesia Unitaria Universalista de Fresno. Good morning. I'm Reverend Tim Kutzmark, and I serve gratefully as minister of the Unitarian Universalist Church of Fresno. Woo! As a non-Christian faith leader and a proud member of the LGBTIA+ community of Fresno, I want to let you all know something you already know in your hearts. Your LGBTQIA+ identity is a blessing to this world. I'd also like to take a moment to affirm that Black Lives Matter, as do the lives of those of Indigenous, Latinx, Asian, and Pacific Islander heritage. This morning, I invite you to join me in a blessing. In the Unitarian Universalist tradition, we understand a blessing to be a very human act. To bless something is to take the love that's in our heart and direct it with caring intention towards someone. We may call the source of that love by many different names or no name at all, but that source, human or divine, is love, and that love is real. And so, let us bless each other with our fuente de amor, the power of love that is within us, among us, and beyond us. So, as you're comfortable, I ask you to place a hand on your heart, intentionally connecting to that love. And in a way that feels authentic to you, imagine your love flowing from your heart to everyone in this gathering. And as you're comfortable, please repeat out loud to each other these words of blessing. There is a love holding you. There is a love holding you. There is a love holding all that you love. There is a love holding all that you love. There is a love holding all. There is a love holding all. You rest in this love. You rest in this love. There is a love holding us. There is a love holding us. There is a love holding all that we love. There is a love holding all that we love. There is a love holding all. There is a love We rest in this love. May it be so. Blessed be. Amen. Thank you. And as we rest in love together, let us remember that the great Cornel West says, justicia is what love looks like in public.
Thank you for that beautiful blessing. Now I want to take a moment to acknowledge all the dignitaries that are with us today. Thank you for showing up. It matters. So I'll start off with my colleagues. Council President Luis Chavez. Council Member Mike Carbasi. Council Member Miguel Arias. Council Member Tyler Maxwell. Council Member Nelson Esparza. Mayor Jerry Dyer. Congressman Jim Costa. Senator Melissa Hurtado. Assembly Member Dr. Joaquin Arambula. And I hear that we have the civil rights icon, Dolores Huerta, in the house. We also have City of Kingsburg Councilwoman Jewel Hurtado. President and Trustee of the State Center Community College District, Analisa Perea. Fresno City College President, Dr. Carol Goldsmith. We have Trustee for the Fresno County Board of Education, James Martinez. Trustee for the Fresno County Board of Education, Kimberly Tapscott Munson. Fresno Unified Trustee, Elizabeth Jonathan Rosas. Trustee, Beba Islas. Trustee, Nazarene Johnson. We have our Fresno State President, Saul Jimenez Sandoval. Hopefully I didn't miss anyone, and don't hate me if I did. Thank you again for showing up, because it does matter. At this moment, I'm going to turn over the podium to our community speakers. We're going to kick it off with Jeffrey Robinson. He is the CEO of Fresno Rainbow Pride. Fresno Rainbow Pride organizes our annual LGBTQ plus Pride Parade and Festival in the Tower District. This year marks the in Fresno. I know Jeffrey has been committed to bringing awareness and support to our members of the LGBTQ community for over 3 decades, and he has advocated and organized every step of the way. So welcome, Jeffrey Robinson.
Y'all gonna make me cry, so you don't want to see a big boy cry. This is going to be a rapid fire speech because there are so many of you here that have to be acknowledged. So it's going to be quick and it's going to be a little bit long. What an uplifting, inspiring, and empowering moment in time this is today. You will hear or have heard that this is a historic, monumental day here in Fresno. It is. And it is so much more. It is a day of equality, acceptance, and inclusion. It is a day to acknowledge how we got to this historic day and recognize those LGBTQ plus individuals who have gotten us to this day. This day has been in the making for a long, unbelievable time. For some, it has been a lifetime in coming. Some of them are here with us today, and others have passed over the Rainbow Bridge. We are here today due to the dreams, passion, and dedication of those that came before us. We don't just stand on their shoulders. They lifted us up and empowered us to want to be the positive change that we are now all sharing today. Today is not about a few of us or the city council or the mayor. It is about a community that has rallied together in spite of our differences and has worked tirelessly for the LGBT community, our families, and our allies. Let us share the love today. We must say their names, our pioneering heroes, our sheroes, and our queerios. Queen Mother Billy, Jesse Villalobos, Empress 1 and 4, Virgil Wigley, Helen James, Lillian Faderman, Sari Dvorkin, Cindy Williams, Jerry Dayton, Bill Watsenbach, Gordon Godey, Gordon Young, Dick Bevanall, Kay Vanderford, Marcia Koenig, Larry Norton, Richard Stone, Gail Abbott, Tiffany Teller-Tate, Eldanya, Slade Childers, Kathy and Jerry Ward of PFLAG, Robin and Ellis, Pat Barr, and Bill Knezovich for Our Savior Lutheran Church. So many more who have also fought for our rights to exist here in the valleys, and they continue to do that work to today. The original Fresno Rainbow Pride activists from 1991 who had the inception of having a pride parade in Fresno. Tom Brandenberry, Liz Maines, Lisa Peterson, Lorraine Wing, Donald Grants, Nikki Adams, Juan Bustamante, Sandy Ward, James, Glenn, Chris, Catherine, Robin, George, Barbara, and myself. Community Link queer activists from Community Link, the Imperial Dove Court, ACT UP, and Queer Nation Fresno. Others in this audience who have uplifted others are Robin McGeehee, Carol Goldsmith, Carrie Donis, Irma O'Queen Jr. from Bitwise, Leilani Price, Jaja Sky, Chris Jarvis, Dan and Tom, Jason Scott, Gina Adams, Jules Maestro, Baltimore Gonzalez, Jesus and Javier Rangel, Sarah Martinez, Ome, Isis DeLuna, Zach Powerhouse, and our dear, dear departed friend, Zoyer Zindale. And many other queer activists that have given of their time and energy. To our current social justice champions, our agents of change, organizers and activists who will turn up and lift up the future leaders of tomorrow. I can't name you all by name, but I've already touched your flesh. I've shaken your hand. I will be posting you in a bigger, long speech on Facebook. Numerous Pride team members and Pride partners and committee members of Fresno Rainbow Pride who over the years have built upon our achievements and advancements and have overcome the hardships that we all owe a huge debt of gratitude to for their hard work and volunteerism. Let us give Peter Robertson a huge round of applause and heartfelt thanks. He planted the seed of raising this pride flag and worked tirelessly for the past year and a half to make it a reality. Thank you so much, Peter. I see you. I see you. Don't cry, Peter. All right. Our journey to be here today spanned decades, and we must thank the courageous Fresno City leaders who supported us before it was cool to do so, both currently and also throughout the last 31 years. To the current Fresno City Council members, Esmeralda Soria, Miguel Arias, Tyler Maxwell, Nelson Esparza, Luis Chavez, and Mike Kerbasi. Today, you all delivered on a hope to the LGBTQ plus community and to the mayor who was bold and did the right thing and supported the LGBT plus community in a spirit of truly a one Fresno. Today, you have all positively impacted the lives of LGBTQ folks here and their families. You will never know what it means to us. To our out and proud elected officials, Jewel Hurtado, James Martinez, and Annalisa Pereira, you all lead by example, and we could not be prouder as a community. You will never fully understand the lives that you have changed and possibly saved in such a major way. You're saving lives by doing this. I want to thank you, and thank all of you. It is a pleasure to be here with you. It is about the community, and I know that we all love one another. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Jeffrey. Now to our next speaker, who is a 24-year veteran of the Fresno Fire Department. She was named Fresno's 15th fire chief, making her the first woman to hold the position in Fresno Fire Department's 140-year history. Our chief oversees a $70 million budget and a staff of 370 firefighter members that take pride in delivering services for California's 5th largest city. Chief Donis is a role model to many and has had a lasting impact in our community. Let's give it up to our very own Fresno Fire Department Chief, Carrie Donis.
Well, thank you. Thank you, Esmeralda. And gosh, that's going to be hard to follow, Jeffrey. Mine are a little more succinct in thought. Thank you for being here today. It's good to see all your faces. You know, for over 7 years, I've been introduced as the fire chief for the city of Fresno. And I am honored and humbled to hold that title and role. But as so many others, we are so much more than our title. The work and beyond our work, we are mothers and fathers. We are wives or husbands, partners, sister, daughter, uncle, maybe a son. We are role models, educators, public servants, community leaders. We break records and even shatter glass ceilings. We do all this simultaneously while being a part of the LGBTQ community, and I am proudly part of that community. I want to recognize our city council and our mayor for their courageous leadership for this day, for this location, and for this flag-raising ceremony. You see, courageous leadership does the right thing. Not because they have to, but because it's the right thing to do. They did the right thing. They led with love in their heart, and I am very proud of all of you. Our city leaders are sending a very clear message, and the message is to our LGBTQ community, we see you. And regardless of who you are or whom you love, you are the fabric of our community and our city. We support you. You know, when I look out here today and I see and all the other young people who get to witness what courageous leadership looks like, what choosing love over hate looks like, it gives me hope, and I bet it gives you hope in humanity. In closing, Elliot Page said something I think is very simple yet profound. And he said, the world would be a whole lot better if we just would make an effort to be a whole lot horrible to each other. That is so simple and so true. Let us all have the courage to choose love and kindness over hate and fear. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief. Now we have Zane Anthony with Trans Emotion. He began his journey through drag in 2013 and became involved with local nonprofit organizations supporting the LGBTQ plus community. Through his involvement with Trans Emotion, he has been able to support the local trans youth and educated the community about issues impacting the LGBTQ plus community. He is also a local barber and a master pet groomer. Come on down.
Thank you very much. I was loving the woo! All right. Sincerely, thank you everybody very much. I'm very humbled and honored to be standing with you all here today by experiencing this historical moment in time, baby. What does the raising of the pride flag mean to me? It means everything to me. Any flag, any nation, it's a symbol of pride, freedom, etc. To me, the rainbow flag signifies this and more. It's a symbol of equality, inclusivity, and hope. Hope for humanity and hope for the future generations. I do have my children here today who are beginning their own journeys. It's a recognition of everyone who's fought and sacrificed themselves and sacrificed losing others with their own personal experiences and their own journeys. By raising the pride flag today, this shows I stand with you. I support you. We love you. You are valid and you are safe. What is important is that we feel safe and backed up by the people who are in the position to use their power for the greater good. So thank you to our community leaders. Without decades of our activism, without our consistent fight, not a phase, our consistent fight for equal human rights, without coming together in unity, without standing and protesting on street corners, and without petitions being signed and letters being written, without sharing your voice, and without the village, which is us, we would not be experiencing history today. So thank you, and thank yourselves for a job well done. I would especially like to thank our council members, everybody who signed our petition that we received yesterday. Thank you so much, Councilmember Esmeralda Soria, Councilmember Tyler Maxwell, and Councilmember Miguel Arias, who did present our award yesterday here at City Hall, recognizing June 2021 as the official LGBTQ plus Pride Month. So this means everything to us. And also, after attending the Fresno State Pride raising ceremony, I got a chance to hear what Mayor Jerry Dyer said. Thank you so much for opening up your mind and your heart to our community. We're happy to have you as a strong ally, a strong leader, showing leadership and doing what's right. So thank you. And although our fight for equality continues, we can stand proud for our progress today, right? So thank you, City Hall. Thank you, City of Fresno. Thank you, everyone. Happy Pride. Together we rise.
Next, we have Kathleen Arambula Reyna. She is a current board president and festival director for the Fresno Real Pride LGBTQ Film Festival, one of the oldest and largest LGBTQ film festivals in the nation. Since 2014, she has helped lead an all-volunteer board that governs the overall execution of the Fresno Real Pride mission, which is to promote community acceptance and understanding while elevating the stories of the LGBT community through the exhibition of film. Kathleen also teaches at one of our local community colleges. Come on up.
Shots fired. Good morning on this amazing, prideful, beautiful day. Thank you all for coming, showing up, showing out, and making your presence known. I thank you, thank you, thank you. So, as Esmeralda mentioned, I am the president of Fresno Real Pride, and if you've ever been to our event, you know that it is about storytelling. It is about letting people see images of themselves on the big screen, allowing people to know that they are not alone, that they share many common issues, values with people across the world. That is important. It is important that we see ourselves for what and who we are. And in Real Pride, it's taught me a lesson. And I think, once again, I was taught one more lesson with this flag-raising ceremony, and that is stories are important. Stories are important. Stories of our community leaders, such as Dr. Goldsmith, sharing her story at Fresno City College that started a domino effect. Yes, absolutely. Stories of our religious leaders sharing their thoughts with our wonderful mayor, who was brave enough to open his heart and listen, and brave enough not to dig in heels but to move forward. Stories that inspire us, such as the amazing Dolores Huerta, who even in her own right inspires more than just a single movement, but a generation and generations to come. Stories are important, and we'll hear about community leaders. We'll hear about all the people who are moving forward that are visible. But what I want to say here today is this. Every single one of you has a story, and every single one of you knows someone who needs to hear that story. We focus on youth and children because we don't want to lose another LGBT kid to suicide. I'm going to take a page from Jeffrey because I've been thinking about this for days. As I was thinking, what do I tell this group of people, which, by the way, what a huge group, what a huge turnout. The only thing I kept thinking in my mind was, man, I never thought I would see flags, the rainbow flags, being raised across our valley. I saw Fresno Cities, I was amazed. I saw Fresno States, and I was honored, both alum of both of those institutions. I stand here at Fresno City Hall, and I am humbled to see this. But I wish that there were people here with us who are not to see this. Most specifically, I wish we had Chloe Ann Lacey here. For those of you that don't know this young woman, she was brave, she was kind, and she should have had more support. I want us to focus on our youth. And if everyone here goes back into their world and just supports one youth, we can make a difference. Our council members are making a difference. Our mayor is making a difference by raising this flag today. You're all. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, community speakers. At this time, I'd like to call up my colleagues, and I'll call you in order to say a few words. But before that, to my colleagues, as Harvey Milk once said, it takes no compromising to give people their rights. It takes no money to respect the individual. It takes no survey to remove repression. We'll start off with Council President Luis Chavez.
Thank you for that, Ryan. Let's give Ryan a round of applause. He's been keeping us healthy. First of all, I want to thank my colleague for organizing this event. Her and I have had a number of conversations from the beginning, but I also want to publicly thank and acknowledge our mayor for, like many speakers said, opening his heart. And Mayor, you and I had a lot of conversations about this issue, and the reason I say that is because the conversations that have been happening in the Central Valley, whether it's from the city of Kingsburg to the halls of City Hall, are the same conversations that happen in our own families, in kitchen tables across our nation, right? Our LGBT community that we know are still in the shadows, people that don't feel comfortable coming out because of professional concerns, because they don't feel they can really truly be themselves. And I know the people that are here today are proud and you're comfortable, but I want to for a quick second talk to the people that are not here because they still don't feel comfortable coming out. We're sending a message today that the city of Fresno is a welcoming city. We accept you, we love you unconditionally, not because of regardless, but because of who you are as a human being. And that's really the message that needs to be sent here today. Because I think it's important, our city is turning the page. This is a historic moment, and I don't think a lot of folks truly capture that. I started working in this building 10 years ago, and I can tell you that I never thought that I would see this day when I would see this crowd raising this flag. And to me, that's progress. Because you see, government can make as many laws as they want, as many ordinances, as many resolutions. But to make progress in these spaces, we need to have these conversations. These conversations that are now happening up here instead of being buried underneath. That takes decades and decades to work through. And so I want to talk a little bit too to those students that we talked about. We know we have a high suicide rate. Elementary, middle school, high school. I can tell you that as a school board member, that was a big issue at Fresno Unified. So to those children that are being bullied, be yourself. Be proud of who you are. You can grow up and be a trustee, a council member, a fire chief, a police chief, a mayor one day. So I'll wrap up by saying this. Thank you to my colleagues, particularly Councilmember Soria. You have been a staunch advocate for our LGBT community. And I want people to know that this proclamation that's down here, that's progress. We have the supermajority of this council, and we have the mayor saying with one voice for one Fresno that we love you. And that's what this event's about.
Thank you, Council President. I'm going to go ahead and call up the rest of my council colleagues because you guys will say a few words, but we also have, we're starting here in the city of Fresno, and part of the program, our first Harvey Milk Community Champion Awards that we will be announcing as well. So my colleagues, if you guys want to come on up.
I just want to say I'm so grateful to be able to be here standing with you. I've been able to learn a lot just over time talking to so many great people. One of them I want to recognize. I didn't know you were so popular, Peter. I just knew you as a kid when we met at my family business, and I see your faces getting red, but seeing you be happy makes me very proud to be here today. And for anyone out there, whether you live in North, South, East, or West Fresno, if you're skeptical, let me just say, talk to Peter. You won't be skeptical anymore. Because I feel like, from what I've learned, and in all seriousness, you were first seen, and unfortunately you were targeted. Then you started getting heard, and things started changing. Today, with this flag going up, you are loved in this city, and I hope in cities across this country. You have just as much value as anyone else, and no one should ever make you to feel bad for being born the way you are. We've got to get past that in this great nation. Thank you so much to our firefighters and police officers here today, keeping us safe. Jim Acosta, I'm so proud to see you here today. You've always been a great friend. Thank you so much.
Okay, so now, before we move on to the Harvey Milk Awards, where's my staff? Do you guys have them? Yeah. Okay. We're going to go ahead. We have chosen 3 individuals in this community that are making or that have made a tremendous impact, not only in the LGBTQ plus community, but in our community as a whole. So we'll go ahead and get started.
Absolutely. Good morning. Happy Pride. I'm Council Vice President Nelson Esparza, and I have the pleasure of presenting the first award, and that's going to be, don't stand up yet, Jeff, but to, to Jeffrey Robinson. I'll give a few kind words about Jeff. He's the CEO of Community Links Fresno Rainbow Pride, as we all know. Fresno Rainbow Pride organizes the annual LGBTQ plus Pride Parade and Festival in our Tower District. And I do want to interject and say that today is historic, as we've heard. And it's historic because we now know, we've come to the conclusion as a city, as a soul of our city, that the Pride flag does not deserve only to be flown in the Tower District, but right here at the People's House. This year marks the 31st year of Pride here in Fresno, and Jeff has been committed to bringing awareness and support to members of the LGBTQ plus community for 31 years here in the city of Fresno. He has advocated and organized every single step of the way. Jeff, Fresno is so proud to have you. Come on down. You're our first award recipient. Woo! Jeffrey Robinson, everybody.
We'll take a picture. Yeah.
Come on.
Picture. I don't know where our photographer is. Oh, he's right there. You guys want to?
Really? And that's going to go in.
Yeah, we're good. Okay. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Jeff. Thank you, Jeff. We are so proud of you. For as long as our LGBTQ neighbors, friends, and family are fighting for their civil rights, you should all know that City Hall stands with you. Thank you.
Good morning, Fresno. My name is Tyler Maxwell, and I just wanted to say how beautiful it is to see so many people that I've gotten to meet throughout my years here in Fresno, standing here in one place for one cause. It's such a beautiful thing to see all of you guys this morning. Before I came to work this morning, I checked my calendar. The year's 2021, where gay rights are not a controversy, they are the law of the land. And yet, our LGBTQIA plus community is one that still has to fight for every single right that they have. It doesn't matter whether it's in the workplace, the ability to marry the person that you love, or to raise a single flag. The fight continues, which shows us that we still have a long ways to go to bring equality and equity here in our community. We still have a lot of minds to touch. We still have a lot of hearts to touch. And while I can't say that this city council may fully understand the struggles that the community has gone through, I can tell you this. The city council that you have now is one that appreciates you. We are one that recognizes you, that hears you, that sees you, that loves you and is proud to have you as a part of this community. Happy Pride. Thank you, everybody. And I would like to introduce the second recipient of the Harvey Milk Award here in the city of Fresno. I'm sure everybody knows this person. They were one of the first people that I called when I ran for city council because they've always been somebody that has supported young people running for office, supported young people wanting to come out, that has led and been a champion of gay rights here in the Central Valley and communities where it's not popular to stand up and say that. And you may know this person as Councilwoman, but I know her as the Queen of Kingsburg, Jewel Hurtado. Come on up.
City of Fresno, thank you. City of Keensburg, we did not lose. And Fresno County, we are not going anywhere. Sí se puede, thank you.
Go over there.
One more time for Jewel.
Woo!
Last but not least, this is a special one for me because I had the opportunity to work with this person during my tenure as a councilwoman. Unfortunately, they are unable to be here today because they lost their life. But to receive this award, we do have Dr. Catherine Faubert and Zane Anthony, who will be receiving the award on behalf of Zoyer Sindel. For those of you that didn't know Zoyer, Zoyer was known for his community volunteering and advocacy in the Central Valley's LGBTQ community, especially his work with trans emotion. Zoyer was a Fresno State alum whose far-reaching community service and activism embraced the intersections of ability, gender, sexuality, race, and socioeconomic status, and how these areas connect with the issues that impact people throughout this region. Zoyer was open and public about being transgender and the issues of mental health. He wanted to humanize those who have mental health issues or those who are transgender. So let's give it up to Zoyer Sindel. Go, the next.
Well, folks, I am the last speaker for today, almost the last speaker. I had an hour speech prepared, but I'm gonna save that for an opinion piece with the Fresno Bee, so stay tuned for that. I do want to say really quickly that this was never a political fight, nor was it a cause. This was simply about loving family and making sure that our city loved us right back as much as we love it. As many of you may know, I grew up in Mendota. And in Mendota, at that time, my LGBT family couldn't be loved and couldn't love. And Fresno was that place that they could finally love themselves, love others, and where they saw a city and a community that loved them back just the way they were. And it's that city that the fight's for. We will fight to protect every inch of progress that we've made in decades and not give 1 inch back. many people here today made Fresno a place where our neighbors, employees, and our family can be loved. Thank you to the city manager today for making sure that our employees had the time off to be part of this historic moment. But before I finish, I want to tell you about one special person in the audience today. There's two photos that I have in my office of two groups. One of my kids who are here today, who know that they have a right to love whoever they want, except for my daughter until she's 25. So if you see her around, make sure you help me there. Until she's 25, she's only allowed to love Dad. So I'm going to fight for that. But the second photo that I have in my office is of Mother Dolores Huerta. Yeah. And Madre Huerta, I will tell you that it's a photo of artistic drawing of you that every time I have a question on whether to stand up and step up, I look at that photo and I'm reminded that you did far more than any of us have. That you took on things when they weren't popular and when you were by yourself, and yet you lifted a whole community up. And you still do to this day. So please bear with us, but I want the closer of this historic moment to be the person who has brought our marginalized communities together. So before we raise the flag, we'd like to hear from Dolores Huerta.
Thank you very much for this great honor. I want to thank the mayor, the city council, all of you, Jewel, for your courageous fight out there, and all of the people out there that have fought so hard for pride. I just want to say one quick thing. This flag that is being raised today in Fresno, in the center of the San Joaquin Valley, this is not just for Fresno alone. This is for the whole San Joaquin Valley, because we're going to catch up with San Francisco, we're going to catch up with Los Angeles. So, viva gay pride y si se puede. Muchas gracias. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much.
So now to what we've all been waiting for. At this moment, I'd like to invite Chief Carrie Donis and Bobby to come forward and raise the progressive pride flag on behalf of the city of Fresno. Council members, mayor, please join us to my left to raise the flag. All the other dignitaries and community leaders, if you could please come forward and stand behind our council for the flag raising. Thank you everyone for joining us. I do want to say thank you to District 1, District 3, District 4, District 7, their staff for helping us make this a successful event.
Nobody's watching, Chief. Nobody's watching.
Keep pulling. All right.
Smell like crap.